Hello, everybody, and you're very welcome. I had a few technical issues starting off. Can I just quickly ask everyone if you can hear me and see me? Just type in the chat box. So sorry for the delay starting. So I see there's a few people on. So if you can locate the chat box and just let me know if you can see and hear me okay, that would be fantastic. My video is on here. And I just want to check to see if you can hear me and see me. I'm just waiting for some comments to come in. I know there is a delay. Brilliant. Okay. Theodora, did I pronounce that right? All the way from Dubai. Thank you for your questions earlier on. I got a fantastic email from you. Brilliant. Fantastic. And if anyone else can hear me, can hear and see me, fantastic. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to transition over to my presentation for this evening. So thank you all so much. And again, I had difficulty connecting to my YouTube channel because this is all recorded automatically. So apologies for the technical delays. I always have to breathe and stay calm when we have technical issues. There seems to be a lot of technical issues the last couple of weeks, so there must be something in the air. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. So great, loads of people are in the chat. Fantastic. Hello Sonia, hello Libby, hello Donal, and John Donnelly is on, Kay is on. It's fantastic to see you all. Great, so great, and thank you for sticking around. Really, thank you. I did have difficulty starting off, so I'm going to share my screen and okay, share my screen. And again, if you can just let me know if you can see my screen, okay, that'd be fantastic. So just say yes, you can see the screen, and I will get started. Okay, fantastic. And just tell me if you can see the screen. That'd be great. I know you can see and hear me okay. Just tell you see my screen. Can you see my presentation screen? That's really what I want to know there now before we get started, because I have some slides that I want to share with you. So important to stay calm when these things happen, isn't it? Okay, brilliant. Let me see. Yes, okay, you can see my screen. Okay, fantastic. Great, great, great. Thank you so much. So let's begin. So 5 surefire ways to get better sleep. And I'm really delighted again. And thank you for taking time out this evening. There's lots of other Zoom events I'm sure that you could be on, or maybe a Netflix edition that you're following or something that you can. So you've taken the time now for the next hour, and we will finish on time at 7 o'clock, maybe 7:05. I do want to respect your time as well. So what I'm going to share with you this evening is 5 ways that you can get better sleep, to have that sleep success that you deeply, deeply desire. So I'm going to really help you get really clear on why sleep is so important, because a lot of people don't understand why, and all the different benefits that sleep can bring you on so many different levels. So we're going to dive into that as well. And I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can implement, and simple strategies that you can do, and you can start using it even tonight, and you can start seeing results. And it's all about starting off small, taking small steps to get to those bigger achievements, those bigger results and breakthroughs. And you're going to get a real insight into what it's going to take to get yourself sleeping so that you can have the best night's sleep ever, and probably that you've only ever dreamed of. You'll probably wake up every morning saying, oh, I wish I could sleep the whole night. I remember a time when I had that, waking up very many mornings that I wished I could just sleep through the whole night. Just one night, please, just let me sleep the whole night. So I get what it's like. I really do, when you can't sleep. And my promise is that you will walk away with some actionable steps. So I'm going to give you some things to do that you can implement tonight, as I say. But really, who am I, first of all? Well, I am a certified health and wellness coach, a sleep science coach and author, a speaker and a podcaster. My recent podcast, Empowering Family Health, recently just started a few months ago, and I'm an online trainer as well. And I will be sharing with you my one of my upcoming courses at the end of this presentation as well. I am married, and that's my little daughter there, Leah. She'll be 10 in November, on the 10th of November. And I do have a son who's 31. He's in China at the moment. He's been trying to make his way home for the last number of months. So we're very close to having him home over, please God, by Christmas anyway. So, and then I did have another daughter in 2007, but unfortunately she died. And it was actually through Megan's death that I found the path to health and wellness, holistic ways of being, the power of the mind. And that brought me on to sleep. And I really think it's so profound how powerful our minds are, and you know, our subconscious, and how we think and how we believe things, our perceptions. It's just so powerful, because it creates our reality for us and what's true for us. So that's what I discovered. I'm also in the media quite a lot, radio programs, my podcasts, other people's podcasts. I've been in newspapers, and I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, and I am actually the president of our local Thai Toastmasters Club, and I have my Toastmasters meeting on after this. So yeah, so it's great. It's great. So I've gone to an awful lot of networking events. I've met so many people along the way, and now these days it's Zoom networking. So there's lots of Zoom network meetings, and it's so great. I have been lucky enough to meet a couple of people over the last few weeks. John Donnelly, namely, John is on here. We met in the Killishy, and it was so great to be able to actually meet somebody. But we do have Zoom to keep connected as well. And these are also some of the organizations that I've been associated with. Currently, I'm with A Wellness Revolution again, because I'm going for a board certified health and wellness. So that's I'm doing that at the moment with them. So what are we going to talk about this evening? So 5 different ways. So the very first one is understanding sleep. Now, why sleep is so vital for our survival, because we can't survive without sleep. It's been, there was a test done where a guy was only able to sleep for 11 days, not sleep, rather, for 11 days. That's on record. Now, the Guinness World Book of Records do not allow that anymore, because it's obviously very dangerous. So that's what's on record at the moment, and we can't survive without sleep. Scientists don't know why, but it's absolutely vital. And I'm going to give you a deeper understanding and appreciation tonight. And this is one of the steps that will bring you success in your sleep, and getting you sleeping as well, because when we have an appreciation for something, we do value it. And a lot of the time, I really want you to come from a place of being open, because a lot of people will say in their conversation, they'll say, oh, I know that, or because we often blind ourselves by assuming that we already know something, or that we've seen something before. So please don't do that. Really be open. And if you aren't experiencing sleep success, then there is something that you don't know. Obviously, there's something that you don't know, or something that's missing. And I'm going to help you discover that in the next hour, hopefully. And another thing that we might say as well is, I disagree, and that can happen really easily. And some things might be counterintuitive or strange, but we're not aware of them, and therefore we're ignorant to a lot of things as well. So there's an African proverb: a wise man never knows all, only fools know everything. So bear that in mind. Okay, so we're also going to talk about stress, how stress keeps you awake at nighttime as well, and what happens in the body as well that prevents us from sleeping at night when we're stressed. So there's a lot of physical, chemical things going on in the body as well, and stress, you know, contributes to a whole myriad of different processes in the body and in the brain, and it can really be detrimental over time as well. And number 3 is, when you wake up at nighttime, there's one thing that I absolutely encourage you not to do, and a lot of people make this mistake, so I'm going to reveal that to you as well. And we're also going to have a look at sleep disorders, when to know if it's a sleep disorder, or and snoring is a very big indicator of a sleep disorder, what I'm going to talk about this evening. And then we're also going to talk about your environment as well, and really aligning with your circadian rhythm. So I will be talking about that as well. So the very first thing that I want to bring your attention to is knowledge and purpose. And this is a great quote by Napoleon Hill. And he says, there is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is the definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. So what he's really saying there is when you want to get breakthroughs or results, you need to know what it is that you want and really, you know, have a purpose. So defining what you want, but also in the middle of that as well is identifying your limiting beliefs. I'm going to have a quick look at that in a minute. And learn skills and knowledge, because there's a lot that we don't know. And there's a lot that we don't know as well. So that we're really blind to. And we also need to have a desire. Like we absolutely have to want it and have a why. Why do you want this? Why do you want a good night's sleep? Well, I know there's many reasons why. But really, I just thought this quote was very, very powerful in helping us to achieve a breakthrough from something that we're not achieving in our life. So let's have a look at what your perspective is, first of all, on sleep. So many people have different perspectives on sleep. Down through the years, Margaret Thatcher, she believed that, you know, 4 hours was enough. She didn't really believe in sleep, and you know, there was many people over the time that had their own different perspectives on sleep. Many of us may say things like, I don't have time to sleep. And maybe you can relate to that. Maybe we've said this in time, you know, I don't have time to sleep. I'm too busy. I have to finish doing my project, or maybe we want to finish tidying the kitchen before we go to bed, or whatever it is. Or you might want to finish watching the end of a film. So really, you know, really be aware of what your perspective is on sleep. Do you say things like, I'll sleep when I'm dead? This is a very cynical attitude. I'll sleep when I'm dead. So these kind of thoughts that we're having they're really limiting beliefs. And what this really is doing is preventing us from valuing and prioritizing our sleep. So many people are not prioritizing their sleep. They're really putting it on the long finger, and they're putting other things ahead of it. Now, sleep is an absolute priority, because when you get a good night's sleep, everything in your life is so much better. Your relationships, your mood, your physical health, everything so much better when you have a good night's sleep. So the very first step is understanding sleep. So you can read books about sleep, you can watch YouTube videos. There's so much information out there that we can avail of to help us understand sleep. You can do one of my online programs as well, and there's many other programs out there as well. So understanding sleep. And in order to do anything well, we really have to understand the process. So I like to use the analogy of the car. So maybe you remember the first time you went on your driving license, or driving lesson rather, and you're sitting in the car and the driver instructor explains what the clutch is, what the accelerator pedal is, what the gears are for. So when you understand, you need to know what all these different parts are. And when you understand that, you've more an appreciation, and you can actually work them together to get the best driving experience. And then we also need to take care of our car. We need to get it serviced so that it will last us a long time. And it's the same with our sleep. When we understand the different parts of sleep and the benefits of sleep, we will be able to master it so much better. And then we will also get to enjoy longevity as well, because when we sleep very well, it can add to the longevity of our life as well, and in a healthy process as well. So process is very, very important. So let's have a look at why sleep is so important. Well, we do know that when we go to sleep at nighttime, we're tired and we wake up feeling refreshed. That's what's supposed to happen. So physical restoration, so a lot of healing and repairing is done at nighttime when we're asleep. And also information processing and memory, it helps to consolidate our memory. So everything that we've learned during the daytime, it gets consolidated and puts into our long-term memory at nighttime. It helps to regulate our mood as well. If you're not sleeping very well, you're going to be like a bag of cats the next day. You're going to be so irritable, and that's going to have an impact not just on you, but on your family and the people that you encounter during the daytime, the people that you work with. So we really have an obligation to look after ourselves, but also this is having an impact on people around us as well. So we need to be mindful of that as well. The immune system, this cannot be overlooked at the moment with where we are. Sleep is probably the best line of defense when it comes to sleep and at nighttime and helping to increase the immune system. Another fantastic benefit of sleep that really has only been discovered in the last 20 years, it actually clears the brain of toxins at nighttime. So the brain actually shrinks at nighttime, allowing all these toxins in the brain to be literally washed out and cleaned out at nighttime. So this only happens in a very deep phase of sleep. So a lot of people may find that they're sleeping 7 hours and they think they're getting enough sleep, but they may still wake up feeling groggy. And really what may be happening there is you're not getting enough deep sleep. And it's only in that deep sleep where an awful lot of the physical restoration and the brain toxins are cleared. A lot of these different processes happen in the deep phase of sleep. So what happens when we don't get enough sleep? Well, it's going to weaken our immune system, and it has actually been shown that our immune system, it produces these antibodies, and the antibodies is what helps to defend our systems basically. And it has been shown in scientific reports that if you sleep continuously for 5 hours or less every night, it can weaken your immune system by up to 70%. So that's massive. That's absolutely massive. So the immune system really only is been built up at nighttime, because this is when we are in a restful state. So during the daytime, we're busy doing different processes. We're in a catabolic state during the daytime, and at nighttime it's an anabolic state. So we're breaking things down during the day, and at nighttime we're building things up. That's what that means. So the immune system is part of that build up restoration at nighttime. Blocked coronary arteries, heart attacks, strokes. Well, our heart can be very much affected when we don't get enough sleep, and this can happen over a long period of time. And many people routinely sleep very poorly, and after a number of years this can have a massive effect on your health. Raises blood sugar, so hypertension, type 2 diabetes, weight gain, obesity. You can also possibly develop Alzheimer's. So remember I was saying about the toxins in the brain, and these toxins, beta amyloid namely, have been known to be associated with Alzheimer's, and these are the toxins that are cleared out of the brain at night time when we're sleeping. And of course mood is very much affected as well, and anxiety, depression, these can set in as well very much, and it can become a very vicious cycle, very difficult to get out of, but it is possible. Now that's a lot of bad news, so I thought I'd put in a bit of a joke here. So here's some rules when I first wake up in the morning. So many of you may be able to relate to this. Everyone has to just be quiet. Nobody can talk to you until you get that cup of coffee first thing in the morning. I remember working in an IT company, and our IT director, he was a bit of a night owl. He stayed up very late at night time, and first thing in the morning, if we had a problem with our systems or our software, we'd give him a call, and he'd answer the phone and he'd say, ring me back in 15 minutes. I'm getting a cup of coffee first. Now the place could have been falling down, and he will not talk to us unless he had his cup of coffee, and I always remember that to this day. So every time I show this slide, it reminds me of him. So let's have a look at the physical health. So our hormone balance, our immune system, gut health, cardiovascular. So the testosterone levels, for a man in particular, a man has to have at least 3 hours of consecutive sleep. Now we do periodically wake up during the nighttime, and a lot of the time that's normal, but for most of us we don't remember, because we do sleep in cycles, and I'll be touching on that later on. But a man needs to sleep for at least 3 hours consecutively to build up enough testosterone. And if he is consistently sleeping for 5 hours or less, his testosterone levels can be reduced by up to 15%. Now, that might not seem like an awful lot, but it is enough to significantly increase your age by up to 10 years. And that has been shown. Your growth hormone is released at nighttime only when you're in a deep phase of sleep. Now, the growth hormone is responsible for all the healing and repairing. It's responsible for so many things. Children and teenagers especially need a lot of the growth hormone for all this developing that's going on. But the growth hormone can be inhibited by a number of things, namely if we are eating a lot of high GI foods like white carbohydrates, because they have a quick converts to glucose very quickly. And then of course the insulin, the purpose of insulin is to get that glucose and guide it into the cells, if you like. So if there's a lot of insulin in the body at nighttime when we're sleeping, so if you've had a cake or chocolate right before bed type of thing, or maybe too many white carbohydrates, white bread, for example, it can increase your blood sugar and then your insulin, and then that's going to decrease the release of the growth hormones. So I can go into that a lot more, but that's just a brief overview of that. The immune system, inflammation. Well, we have inflammation in the body all the time, but when there's excessive stress in the body, it's going to create a lot more inflammation. But really, we need to prevent it from having too much inflammation in the body. So again, it's coming back to that balance. And detoxification is a really important process at nighttime. So part of detoxification is eliminating all this inflammation in the body at nighttime. So it's a really important time, because we can only detoxify effectively when the body is at rest. Because during the daytime, the body is busy working and all the different processes. Cardiovascular, so blood sugar levels, I touched on that really. Gut health, the gut flora microbiome, so super important here. I can't underestimate the microbiome, because the microbiome is responsible for so many different processes in the gut. And if the microbiome gets out of balance, so microbiome is the good and bad bacteria, if it gets out of balance, it can become a systemic problem. And by that I mean you can develop headaches and skin rashes, psoriasis, and it could be as a result of your microbiome, your gut health, a problem with the gut health, a leaky gut. But in relation to sleep, we have neurotransmitters in the gut, serotonin, and up to 90% of our serotonin is made in the gut. And we know serotonin is the precursor for melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. And we absolutely need our melatonin to enable us to get asleep, but stay asleep during the nighttime. And then we have the enteric nervous system. So these are the neurotransmitters, and then the serotonin and melatonin, which I mentioned as well. So the brain function. So we know that cognitive function, brain function, these are all affected by lack of sleep when we have sleep deprivation. So our emotions and behavior, we have an emotional center in the brain called the amygdala, and when we don't get enough sleep, this amygdala is amplified, if you like. So that's why we are easily triggered, and we react. And have you ever heard of putting your foot in your mouth? You're saying things before you think about it. So this is what happens. We're easily triggered when we're sleep deprived, and our response and our reaction times as well. So they can slow down dramatically. So if you're driving a car and you need to hit the brakes suddenly, a child runs out in front of your car, your reaction times are a lot slower as well. It clears the brain at nighttime. We spoke about that, the toxins in the brain, and then your learning and memory. So this is really, really important, because this is a very important part of your sleep at nighttime, particularly in our REM sleep. And there was a study done in the School of Medicine, and it was just 5 college students, but they were sleep deprived for 24 hours, and their learning and their memory ability was reduced by up to 40%. Now that's really, really significant. So they found it difficult to recall information from the brain. So that's pretty significant. Just going to check in with you guys and just make sure everyone is okay. Yeah, fantastic, great, brilliant. Okay, so stress is a very big factor at the moment, because for so many of us, we are living in a very busy, chaotic modern environment at the moment. We've a lot of information out there, so much information, but the current times that we're living at the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear, and this anxiety can have a massive impact on how well we sleep during the nighttime. So many people may find that they're sleeping through the night, but they're not having that deep level of sleep. And this is because we have a lot of stress during the daytime, and how we are during the daytime has an impact on how well we sleep at nighttime. So managing our stress during the daytime is really, really important, and this will help to enable us to get into that deep phase of sleep. So this is where we really want to get to, is being able to have that deep phase of sleep, because this is where all the healing and repairing is done. This is the quality sleep in the deep. So we really do need to manage stress. So what's happening is we have 2 different parts of the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. So we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So the sympathetic is the fight or flight. And, not all stress is bad, but too much stress is bad. We know too much stress is bad for us. And thousands of years ago, stress was running away from that saber-toothed tiger. But nowadays, stress is an angry boss, or a traffic jam, or your children irritating you, or lots and lots of different things that we didn't have thousands and thousands of years ago. So there's more things there that can trigger us now in our modern world. So what happens when we have a fight or flight response? Well, we've got a cortisol going through our body. Cortisol is one of the fight or flight hormones. Adrenaline is another one. And when we've got too much cortisol in the body, it increases the glucose. So again, this is having an impact on our blood sugar levels. And this is one of the reasons why people wake up during the nighttime as well. And also another thing with stress is if you've got a busy mind and you've a lot on your mind and a lot of worrying about the future, which a lot of us are at the moment, this is going to cause us to wake up maybe early in the morning if we've a lot to do, for example. So some people say to me, God, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can't go back to sleep. Well, sometimes this could be that you have a lot of thoughts in your mind and you have a lot to do. So your body is saying, come on, get up out of bed. You have a lot to get done. You need to start your day. And your body is just anxious to get going and to get started with your day. So there's loads of different, but to understand the physiological responses in the body, your blood sugar issues, the busy mind, these are all factors, but it's really the chemical responses, and even your thoughts can have this physiological response in your body, this cortisol. And if you have cortisol during the nighttime in your body, too much cortisol, this is our wake up hormone, so it's going to cause us to wake up. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, exercise is really important when it comes to managing your stress, because this can help to release feel good hormones as well. And we endorphins, and this can help with managing pain as well. So an awful lot of the time when we're experiencing stress, we feel pain more. And there's a lot of people with suffering with back pain and all sorts of different pain, and this can prevent us from sleeping well at night, causing stress too. So again, that vicious cycle again. And then food is a really important factor as well. We need to be mindful of eating the right types of foods. So again, eating an awful lot of white carbohydrate foods can increase your blood sugar, and we know sugar is not good for us. It's acidic, and disease, and the body loves an acidic environment. So all these factors combined together, it's really a holistic approach. So managing your stress, and what we can do there to manage our stress really is to slow down. Really, it's to slow down and be aware of our thoughts. I like to use the acronym WAIT. When we start having those really busy thoughts, just say wait a minute. WAIT is the acronym for what am I thinking? So what are you telling yourself? What are the thoughts and the perceptions that you have? And ask yourself, is this true? Is it serving you? Really have a look at what you're thinking, and is it true? Because a lot of the thoughts that we have are distortions, and that's what the reality is for us, and it may not necessarily be real. So an awful lot of the time they're distortions and they're inaccurate, an awful lot of our beliefs and what we're thinking. So that's another thing that you can do to help to manage your stress. Another thing you can do before you go to bed at nighttime is write down on a piece of paper everything that you have to do the following day. So it's like a brain dump. Another thing you can do is just write out, do a worry list and write it out. My daughter has this teddy bear and there's a zip. And if I'm worrying about anything, it's so funny. She tells me to write it down on a piece of paper and put it into the teddy bear. It's her worry monster. So the monster eats all my worries. So and she does it too. If she has any worries, she just writes down the piece of paper and then she gives it to the worry monster to worry about, and it's taken away from her. So that's another thing that you can do as well to help to manage your stress at nighttime. Now, one thing to do, or not to do rather, when you wake up at nighttime. So how many of you look at your clock when you wake up? So many people reach for their clock first thing when they wake up during the nighttime. Do not do this, because we don't need to know the time when we wake up during the nighttime. The only reason that many of us look at the clock is to see how many more hours of sleep that we have. So we're doing the mental maths and we're calculating. and straight away we're getting anxious because we're saying, oh my God, I've only 3 more hours left to sleep, or I've only 2 more hours left to sleep. So I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So straight away, it's causing anxiety. What does anxiety do? It releases cortisol. Once you've got cortisol running through your body, that's it. You're going to find it really difficult to go back asleep again. So make it a habit. And it's a really, really good tip. Make it a habit. Just do not look at your clock. Do not have, I know some people may need an alarm clock to wake themselves up in the morning time. I personally don't like using an alarm clock. But if you need to use an alarm clock to wake yourself up at night time, don't have the clock facing you. Don't use those LED light things. Most people use their mobile phone. Mobile phones have a pet hate about bringing them to bed at night time. Don't bring them to bed, your mobile phones. Turn it on Wi-Fi if you do have to bring your phone to bed. But I'm not going to go into that discussion now because it's a very lengthy topic about mobile phones. But really do not look at your clock during the nighttime, because this is what you're doing. You're doing the mental maths and you're getting anxious and you're having those physiological responses. So try that tonight. Do not look at your alarm clock and make it a habit. Don't look at it, because you don't need to know what time it is. You'll wake up whenever you wake up, and if you have an alarm, it will go off anyway. So just don't look at the alarm clock. It doesn't make any difference. It really doesn't. So just a little bit about sleep and the stages of sleep. Some people ask me, how much sleep do I need? Well, there are guidelines. So for a healthy adult, 7 to 9 hours typically. Some people need different amounts of sleep than others. It's really down to the individual, and I really do encourage people to find out for themselves how much sleep it is you feel that you actually need. So there are 4 different stages of sleep. So stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, stage 3 is actually broken into 3 and 4. Stage 1 and 2 are very light stages of sleep, but stage 3 is where I want to really focus on. Stage 3 is the deep sleep that I spoke about. This is where the growth hormone is released, and this is where all the healing and repairing is done. So we'd spend about 20 to 25% of our overall night in stage 3 and 4. And this whole cycle, we go into REM sleep then after that, and REM is the rapid eye movement. This is where we dream, and actually REM sleep is where a lot of our memory consolidation is done. So this cycle here is about 90 to 120 minutes. So that's one cycle. And as we transition through each of these stages, and when we complete one cycle, this is where we go back to stage 1 or 2, and this is a very light stage of sleep, and this is where we will probably wake up. A lot of the time we don't realize this is where you might roll over and just go straight back asleep again. So for many people, we don't even remember waking up for those couple of seconds, but some of us do, but that's typically where that happens. So if you do find yourself waking up, or if you go to the bathroom, don't think anything of it. A lot of people get anxious the fact that they're awake. So I just ask you not to get anxious and just see it as a normal process and go back to bed. And you will transition back into sleep again. That is how we were designed anyway. It's really down to our thoughts and how we're thinking about it when we wake up. So much of it is to do with how we're thinking. I can't go into it too deep because I don't have enough time, but I just want to touch on those areas. So sleep problems. So many of us encounter sleep problems at nighttime, and one of the biggest one is snoring. I wanted to talk about snoring in particular. So we would have, you know, restless legs or colds and flus. All those kind of things would be sleep problems, and they may be only temporary. But snoring seems to be really a big problem, and snoring can be a bigger problem than is perceived. If you have a partner who snores, and who snores quite loudly and who snores quite often, it may be an indication of sleep apnea. Now, sleep apnea is actually a medical disorder, sleep disorder. So this man here is wearing a CPAP machine, and this is it's a continuous pressure, airway pressure, that helps to keep the airways open. And what sleep apnea is, it's this cessation of breath during the nighttime. So you may stop breathing for a couple of seconds, or very periodically during the nighttime. Some people would have one of these attacks a couple of times, well, a good few times during the nighttime. But where the danger is when this happens, you are actually depriving your brain of oxygen. And we know that the brain absolutely needs oxygen. We need oxygen to function. And what it's doing is it's actually waking you up out of your deep sleep. So it's very difficult for anyone with sleep apnea to get into that deep phase of sleep. So people with sleep apnea may find, oh God, I sleep 7 or 8 hours, no problem, but I'm still absolutely exhausted. And this may be because if you have sleep apnea, these attacks that you're having during the nighttime are actually waking you up from your deep phase of sleep. So you're starting that whole cycle again, that cycle I talked about in the previous slides. So you're starting back in the cycle again. And you're really disrupting this natural flow of sleep, this natural cycle of sleep at nighttime. So what I say to you, if you snore, maybe you don't realize that you snore. If your partner tells you that you snore, really take it seriously. A lot of people, you know, make it out to be a laugh and a joke or whatever, and then sometimes it can get annoying as well, and it can actually cause marital problems, and it has actually caused a lot of constraints in marriages as well. For me personally, my husband has this, and we actually sleep in different rooms now. We call it a sleep divorce because it prevents the real thing, and it works. It works. Both of us are getting our sleep. He does have a CPAP machine, and both of us are. So it may come to having to do something like that, but do seek medical advice from your doctor if you do suspect it. So that's what I really want to say about sleep apnea. And the very last one is your environment. So your environment, there's so much going on in your environment that can actually sabotage your sleep. So lots of things going on during the daytime, and also your bedroom environment as well. So let me quickly talk about the circadian rhythm. So our circadian rhythm is this 24-hour biological process, daytime, nighttime. And really, the light is the primary influencer. So we have all our own biological clocks. We have our own body rhythms, and there's rhythms of the day and nighttime. So this is all nature. And really, if we can get in sync with nature, if we can get aligned with this, then we will be in an optimal state for all our different processes to work properly and optimally. So what I mean, first thing in the morning, when we wake up, our cortisol is highest in the morning time. So this is a natural body rhythm. And then in the evening time, our melatonin, which is our sleep hormone, is naturally higher. Cortisol reduces in the evening time. And this is the cycle. This is a cycle of those two hormones in particular. So there's lots more different rhythms. So during the daytime, we have this natural slump, usually between 1 and 3 o'clock, and this is a natural slump. Our body temperature reduces. This is an optimal time for having a nap if you need to have a nap. And I do have guidelines on naps. We don't want to be napping for too long, and it can interfere with our sleep at nighttime if we sleep too long. So if we can get into sync or get aligned with our biological clocks, this will help all the different processes to work more optimally at nighttime. So, for example, when we are stressed going to bed at nighttime, our cortisol increases, which is not natural, and it's having an impact on your melatonin being secreted. So this is where we are out of sync. So really our environment and what we are doing during the daytime, the foods that we're eating, the quality of air that we're breathing, exercise, and all these things can help with our body rhythms, and it's really important. Sunshine is so important to get that first thing in the morning. So that's what you can do first thing in the morning when you wake up, is get sunshine. Even if it's not a sunny day, go outside, go for a walk. If it's raining out, you know, even just sitting by your window, having breakfast by the window, getting that sunshine is really important, because it'll help to switch off your melatonin and help to reset your circadian rhythm. So that's really, really important. And then your bedroom environment, I just want to touch on that. It's really important to have a clean room when you're going to bed at nighttime, a decluttered room, but also the temperature of your room as well, because temperature can control all these rhythms as well. So our body temperature has rhythms as well. So ideally our body temperature cools down at nighttime right before we go to bed, allowing the onset of sleep. So if we have a cool bedroom environment, that can help with that as well. So that's another thing. Make sure that your bedroom is not too hot at nighttime when you're going to sleep. So in summary, we spoke about sleep, the importance of sleep, why sleep is so important, and really, you know, changing your perspectives on sleep and really, put sleep down as a priority, make it a priority and really value your sleep, because that's when you will appreciate it more and you'll be more grateful that, that's what sleep can do for you. So first of all, just change your mindset about sleep. Mindset is so important. Mindset is so important with everything, really. So change your perspective and understand sleep. Find out more. It's really important to find out more about sleep, because we do have all the other pillars of health, nutrition and exercise, and they're equally important as well. But sleep really has a massive impact on everything. There's not one biological process in the body that does not benefit from a good night's sleep. So really make it your business to go and find out more about sleep, whether you do any of my online courses or any other ones, or check out YouTube, and there's loads of information out there. So do go and find that out. Also, we had a look at stress and the physiological things that happen in our body at nighttime that may wake us up during the nighttime. We also had a look at sleep. We had a look at the process of sleep and the one thing not to do during the nighttime, which is do not look at your clock. So do not do that tonight, okay? We also had a look at some sleep problems and disorders, namely sleep apnea, which is a very big one and very much undiagnosed at the moment as well. And then we also had a look at your environment as well and how that can affect your sleep. So now I just want to tell you a very small bit about my online program. It's a 12-week live online program. There's 6 modules and 6 Q&As with this. And really what I covered just there now was a snippet. It really was just an insight, a snippet of what I can show you on the program. And sleep really is so important, and we can go so much deeper about all the different processes and benefits of sleep. So this 12-week program, the very first module is about waking up to sleep. So really literally waking up to sleep and the importance of sleep. So we do a lot of mindset work around that, and it's really powerful stuff, and it really is a priority. We also go into holistic health as well. So nutrition, exercise, stress management, these are all really, really important when it comes to managing your stress. And stress is a very, very, we're living in a very stressful society, and even more so now. And there's a lot of fear out there, which is really disempowering us as well. So when you have the knowledge and information of what you can do to help empower you and increase your health as well and benefit, this will really help to benefit your sleep and everything overall. So it all works holistically. So that's really important. We also have a look at the science of sleep. So what goes on, the sleep centers in the brain, what's going on in the brain at nighttime. And sleep problems. So there's so many sleep problems that we can encounter. Some of them can be temporary, some of them can be long-term. So we have a look at all those different areas as well. And then your environmental influences. So we touch on that. An awful lot we talk about there is toxins in the environment. We also go into EMF as well. 5G is really very much been rolled out at the moment. And even 6G is starting to come out in China, I believe, at the moment. So we have a look at all that, and environmental influences, a very big area. And then sleep hygiene, so your routines, your habits, how to create new habits, and really important when it comes to winding down your sleep routine and winding down. That's a very, very important, because sleep is not like an on-off switch. It's a winding down process. And then, of course, we have Q&A calls as well. So I get asked so many questions here, and this is an opportunity where your questions can be answered specifically as well. So I've had a lot of testimonials. Doug Gordon, he's a radio presenter in Dublin City FM. He says, I guarantee she can help you. She's brilliant at wellness and she's a wonderful lady. Doug Gordon is great. Pat Slattery was my mentor for a number of years as well. And he says, I've an incredible amount of knowledge and I really do care about serving my clients. And then Karina Murray. So I've worked with Karina Murray on the Anua project, and she's also a radio presenter on Together FM. And she says, if anyone is struggling to sleep, you've got to check out this lady, Joanne Callahan. She has the knowledge and can seriously help you. And then, of course, Leslie Feger. I love Leslie Feger. So I actually got the privilege of speaking on stage with Leslie there a couple of years ago. He says, attend one of Joanne's events and you'll come away amazed at what she knows about sleep and what you can learn about sleep. So here it is, folks. Here's the program. I'm actually going to give you a lot of benefits or bonuses as well on top of this. Now, I do normally sell this course for $497, but given the times that we're in, and I really do want to help you, I really do want to, because if I can help people to be better people, to be really more truly who they are, through better night's sleep and living a healthy lifestyle, then that's going to benefit the people around them. And look, it's maybe a big world, but it's really a small world as well. And the more people that we can help, it will help to improve our outlook on things, raise our vibration, and really just have an impact on so many people on so many different levels. You just wouldn't believe it. It's just so incredible. So 297, that's in dollars. So really, well, that's about €260, I think, something like that. So I do have, let me go back to my offers and just put them up. I'm just going to put an offer up there so you can actually click on that link. You should be able to see it there in a second, and you can click on that link. Now that goes straight to PayPal, because my website is empoweringsleepsuccess.com, and if you do go onto that website, you will find out more information, but you will also see that I am selling it for $497. So really only through that link there now that you can see. And I will be sending you out an email after this with another opportunity as well. So you will get the email with the link again. But if you do want to avail of that offer of $297, you will get all those bonuses as well. So you get the videos, you get some meditations. I am a professional aromatherapist, so you'll get an ebook with some aromatherapy recipes, some sleep resources. You're going to get access to the group, the Facebook group. You get lifetime access to all this information as well. I'm also going to give you my audiobook, How to Get a Good Night's Sleep. You get the ebook and the audiobook, and then you get a sleep diary. It's an e-diary, workbooks, guides, assessments, and a food shopping list as well. So lots of different things that can help you. So we'll be doing lots of homework on this program. So it starts on the 13th of November is an introduction, but the first class starts on the 20th of November, and they will be weekly events. I haven't actually populated the dates yet because I think over the Christmas time we'll be taking a break, but typically it will be every week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to take questions. I'm going to go back here and take questions from people. Fantastic. Fiona Brennan says, great webinar, Joanne. Brilliant information. Thanks, Fiona. Again, I'm so sorry that it took so long to start, but it's so great that we can overcome these challenges when we have these technical challenges. Donald says, I have a sound-only timepiece, no light or numbers. Push a button and it speaks to time. All right, okay. No, still don't do that though, Donald. You don't want to know the time during the night. you don't want to know the time. Okay, let me see. Any other questions? I do have a list of questions here beside me that was emailed in. Okay, so if you do have any questions, pop them in there into the chat box. In the meantime, I'm going to read out some questions that I have here. So let me see. What is the best sleeping position and the best mattress to have? Okay, so the best sleeping position well, it depends. If you do snore, sleeping on your back is out. You can't sleep on your back if you do snore, okay? Because that's going to, with the law of gravity, everything's going to be pushed backwards, and that's going to cause you to snore more. But lying on your back, if you don't snore, lying on your back is quite a good way to sleep, because it's actually the natural, it's lengthening your spine, and as long as you have good support under your neck, because the back of the neck has this curve, so a good supporting pillow. You really do need to have a good supporting pillow. If you find you're waking up during the night or in the morning first and you've got a creak in your neck or whatever, you may not have a good supporting video. Sonia just asking me, is this recorded? I hope to God it is recorded, Sonia. It's supposed to be, but with the technical difficulties I had starting, I'm not sure. It was supposed to be recorded to my YouTube, but I changed where it's been recorded to. So I'm hoping, I'm almost positive it is, Sonia. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You know, a couple of people. Yeah, so great. Brilliant, Sonia. Thank you. Brilliant. That's an amazing offer, Joanne, for your 12-week course. Yeah, Fiona, I normally offer this at $497, but just given the times that we're in, I really do want to help people. I really do. And I know what it's like not to be able to sleep. I've had it on so many different occasions all through my lifetime. When I was 25 or something, I went into work and my father drank quite an awful lot, so we had many nights that we didn't get sleep. There was arguments and all the rest, and I was the only one working in my house. There was 10 of us living in the house at the time, and I was the only one in work. And I used to actually go into the ladies' bathroom and hide and just sit down on the loo there and put my head against the wall and go to sleep for a few minutes. I was so tired, and my head bobbing like this, you know, the tiredness. Really, it's not nice. It's very dangerous too. You know, it's not nice, especially if you're driving, because you can have those micro sleeps so quick, and all it takes is a split second for your car to go off the road. So I know what it's like, and I really want to help people. The best sleeping position, yeah, so just going back to that, so sleep on your left side is really for pregnant ladies. Sleep on your left side is best as well. If you've got heartburn or anything like that, because of the way the stomach is positioned in the body, sleeping on the left is best. And also for the blood flow for the fetus if you're pregnant. You may need to put a pillow in between your knees to help with hip alignment if you're sleeping on your side. And it's really important to have a good mattress to support you, because again, your spine and your alignment of the spine, it's just so important to have a really good mattress. Best things to eat. I'm not going to get through all these questions, but the best thing to eat and drink at nighttime. Well, try not to drink too much before you go to bed at nighttime, because this will have you get up, going to the bathroom during the night. But heavy meals at least 3 hours before bedtime. Red meat is very difficult to digest, so like really in particular red meat, don't eat that too late before going to bed at nighttime. Light snacks you can possibly have, things like tart cherry juice is really good. There's actually melatonin in that. Walnuts actually contains melatonin, so you can have those. They're melatonin rich foods. Bananas are quite good as well for helping you sleep. The room temperature, I touched on that. What are healthy sleep patterns, especially for people who have habits? Oh yeah, okay. So I've been asked here, people who don't have a routine. Well, you just need a routine. You absolutely have to have a routine, and that's it. And really, if you can, this is going to be the last question, because I'm really conscious of the time for you guys. Really, a routine is so important, and going to bed at the same time every night and getting up at the same time every morning, because you will find if you do that routinely, your body will automatically wake up at that time. And I'm talking even on the weekends, I'm sorry to say. Even on the weekends. Now look, it's all right to have a lie-in for a half an hour or whatever extra, but not like 2 hours extra, because you're throwing your body out of sync. And you may find that when you are working that 9 to 5 job, or if you do the school ones like I do, if you're out partying over the weekends and you're going to bed late, and then you're having the lie on Saturday and Sunday, you'll find it really difficult to get up on a Monday morning. And it's because you've reset your circadian rhythm, you've changed it, and it's like that actually causes a stress in your body, believe it or not. So getting up at the same time and going to bed at the same time every night is really important for your routine, and it's the best way to get into a routine as well. Okay, just checking through the chat. So Sonia, you will get an email with the recording. I'm hoping to God now there is a recording. I'm almost positive that there is, but you will get an email with the recording, so you'll get another opportunity to look through this. You'll get that tomorrow. Brilliant. Okay, that's great. Fiona's on another call at 7. Okay, fantastic. Just checking through. There's lots and lots of messages. Okay, great. Theodora, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I hope you're happy with some of those questions that I answered for you. Sorry, I couldn't get through them all. There's just a lot of questions, but I think I answered most of them anyway during the presentation. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just double checking through, making sure. John Donnelly says, great webinar. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Fiona says, is the old rule of getting out of bed before midnight being more valuable than after midnight, even if you don't? Yeah, Fiona, it's true. And again, if you go back and have a look at the Chinese clock, okay, so the Chinese clock, all our organs, Chinese clock talks about meridians, and we are energy, we are electrical beings and energy, and all our organs in our body there's a 2-hour window where each of our organs are optimized, if you like. So the liver, for example, is between 1 and 3 o'clock. That's when it's really working at its best, its optimal level, the liver. And liver is a detoxifying organ, but also detoxifies emotions as well. So between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock is the best time to get the deep sleep, okay, because that's when all the detoxifying. So the gallbladder is before 12, and then the liver. So these are all detoxifying organs. So this is when they're optimized. So this is, we absolutely have to detoxify and eliminate all that before we can replenish and rejuvenate and all that kind of stuff. So yes, it's true. 1 hour before midnight is equal to 2 hours after midnight. I think it's something like that. The saying is, yeah, absolutely true, Fiona. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think there's any other questions. So watch out for. Was there a question? No. Yeah, that's it. So watch out for an email tomorrow. You will get an email tomorrow with the recording, hopefully, please God. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you got a lot of information out of that. Do take maybe 1 or 2 pieces of information that you can work with. Don't overwhelm yourself, and just, you know, start off small, really start off small and build on that, and it will get you on the way to improving your sleep for the better. So with that, good night, everybody. Have a great evening wherever you're up to, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.